when you try to compare a commercial operation with respect to your own household operation, there is a lot of similarities. Here, for example, this is a Nestle, a company that deals with cheese, with cold stuff. So how do they do the same operation you do in your household? You go to the store to buy groceries. As soon as you come home, you spread things in the refrigerator depending on the temperature. The higher part of the refrigerator is very cold. The lower part is cool or cooler or less cold. And in the freezer you put the freezing stuff. Here, almost the same operation, different dimensions. For example, now the temperature is 120 degrees. How do they get the raw material? Here is the rail brings the rail cars. One of them is hiding behind these trucks, and they get the bulk produce like flour, seeds by rail, and sometimes by trucks, depending on the location and how much money and the urgency. If you don't need them right away, you just bring them by rail. If you need them immediately, you bring them by trucks. Once the rail car comes here, you might be able to see it if these trailers move. The rail car is a container, enclosed container like this car, like this trailer in front of you, with a lower port at the bottom. Once it comes here, the lower part is connected to the vacuum hose. The vacuum hose will suck the flour or the produce or the beans or the seeds into these silos. Look at these silos, they have a power supply next to them to control the temperature. This is like your freezer at home. You can keep the stuff cool and dry. Most important thing, you have to keep them dry. So you don't get seeds, you don't get fungus, bacteria, or you do not want them to be wet, so you spoil your storage. When they are done storing them, we have forklifts in the cars that will shovel the stuff, or they might be using, I think they are using underground vacuum hoses to shovel the produce, the seeds, the flour from these silos to the plant. The plant is behind me. We are standing here in the loading dock of the plant. That is very cold temperature facility. That is the only difference between a commercial operation and your household. Another difference, of course, here is the scale. Once you leave from this part, behind this truck there is a scale. The scale will tell you how much merchandise you are bringing, how much weight, and how much leaving the facility. And of course, this is like in your home you have electric switch or relay switch or fuse switch. This is the fuse switch or relay switch of the facility. The high tension or the high voltage power comes from these overhead lines. You can see them going through the city. Right here you can see the main overhead lines, power lines. They come here, they are reduced in tension from hundred thousands of volts down to whatever volts that you need, 380, 120 or 220. Here is a transformers that step down the voltage from high voltage to lower voltage, so you can use them in your machinery and use them. Of course, here the major danger here are the transformers. The transformers are cooled by oil. The oil can stand a very high temperature. but sometimes you have accidents when you have explosion. The oil is too old, the oil was not maintained, was not broke down, and you have high voltage transmission inside the transformer. The transformer gets hot, the oil gets hot, you have an explosion. Of course, they do have cooling. If you look at the site, you have the cooling facilities to prevent any kind of overheating. And that shaver in front of me, that is a reefer or a cooler. As you can see, there are two shavers here, and that lot is reserved for them. So he can carry merchandise here, maintain it under minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and transport it from Atlantic to Pacific and the other way. And we are doing only the rail. The rail means it's intermodal. It means I get the weight from here, I carry the load to the intermodal Union Pacific, put it on a train, and from the train it will go around anywhere in the United States where there is an intermodal rail ramp.